Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So today's video, doom and gloom, food shortages, food prices. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that we're fixing to get some really bad food prices, and we're going to see a lot of food shortages, and we'll go ahead and talk about why. So there should be pop-ups and stuff like that for you guys to check out. We know the coast of California, there's a traffic jam full of container ships. Been that way. It's been that way for months, or at least a month that I know of, maybe a little longer. As a matter of fact, about 6 months ago they started reporting on the container ships. 6 months ago. This is nothing new. This is something that this administration should have took care of 6 months ago, and they just kicked the can further down the road. Now we're seeing a 4-week backlog of ships in New York's harbor. Yeah. So what other ports are getting clogged up with shipping containers? So what's on these shipping containers? Well, I've seen the reports of it's items people are buying online, and our systems just can't deal with all that. They're actually blaming the traffic jam of these ports on consumers purchasing online during the pandemic. This country's been open for a good while now, but you're still having issues, actually even worse issues? Yeah, nah, could try. So when I was looking at some of the listings of what people are purchasing as far as bringing into the country, every time I look around I keep on seeing toys and buy your gifts now before Christmas. And they are saying that because if you want to get your Christmas gifts, you better go buy them now. Personally, I don't give a crap about purchasing gifts during Christmas and all that stuff. I'm more worried about food and, security for my family. So the Lego set, sorry, you might not get it this year, at least not on time. So what, it's going to be delayed, who cares? Let's talk about food. Did you know that we import a crap load of food? A crap load of food. It's not just China. We get food from New Zealand, we get food from Australia, we get food from South America, we get food from India. As a matter of fact, there should be some pop-ups coming up here for you, because I'm going to read off some of these items for you. Now, one of the first disclaimers here that's going to pop up there for you. The United States imports a wide variety of food, including fish, shellfish, fruits and nuts, vegetables, and red meat. Because the labor is cheaper buying overseas and buying imported apples than it is to grow here in the country. As an example, that's why we import a lot of stuff. If you don't like stuff being imported, how dare you buy from China? You know what? Take it up with your congressman, take it up with your governor, because they're the ones that sold the country out years ago. Those are the ones you need to be ticked off at. I'm just trying to make sure I got food for my family. Okay, so one of the listed of imported items that we import here in the United States is seafood. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. imports billions of dollars worth of seafood from China each year. All right, so that's just one of the countries that we get stuff. Common foods are grouper, hadcock, whitefish, red beam, squid, flounder, American cod, crab, and lobster. I also know that tilapia, shrimp, is also on that list. Salmon, catfish. So yeah, there's all kind of food. That's seafood. Seafood alone. When you go into the store, you want fish. Most of that's imported. So with the backlog of stuff that's going on, how do you think they get that food here? They get that food here by ship, container ships. What do you think's sitting off the coast? Let's move on. Next up, we have fruits and nuts. Okay, I'm not worried about the CFP. I just don't eat peanuts. Whatever. All right. So they import a lot of fruits and nuts. All right, let's talk about fruits. Bananas, pineapples, avocados, apples, honeydew melons, blueberries, cantaloupe, mangoes, nectarines, and lemon are one of our top imports on fruit alone. Then you got nuts that you're getting from Brazil, South America, things like that. I don't have the listing of the actual name of nuts, but you can actually, well, I don't eat many of them, so it's up to you on your diet. But it just goes to show you that stuff is also on ships. Now I believe this one here is very important to us all. Vegetables, it is a imported item. It's in the tops of imports. All right, so vegetables, most of it comes from Mexico. Surprisingly, I did not know that, but most of it does come from Mexico. Imported vegetables include peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, corn, pinto beans, broccoli, cabbage, onion, lettuce, celery, squash, spinach, just to name a few. I do know that we get our largest import of soy from China. Now, I know we all don't like soy, but soy's in a lot of our food. It's actually used to process a lot of our canned goods and things like that. Soy's in there. So you take that item out of the ingredients, now you're going to have more shortages because they can't produce as much of a certain type of food because it doesn't have a particular type of filler. So let's move on. All right, so number 4, red meat. We import a lot of red meat. Each year, Canada exports millions of head of cattle and pigs to America. Now with Canada, they can use tractor trailer rigs, stuff like that. I don't know if they actually use ports coming out of Canada. I don't know how their delivery system works out there. So I do know they can use tractor trailers. So I was a truck driver for a while. I've seen beef and stuff transport. U.S. is one of the largest exporters of beef. Okay, so we export a lot of beef, but still imports beef from New Zealand. I don't know what country that is. Australia. Uruguay. I don't know. It's in the pop-up. The importation of veal, pork, lamb, mutton has increased rapidly over the past several decades. So we also import red meat, beef, things like that. Now, they did say New Zealand and Australia. So with New Zealand and Australia, unfortunately there's no bridge connecting the two to here. It's got to be shipped. So it's not just furniture, it's not just toys, it's not just Christmas gifts that are on these container ships. We got food on these container ships. Guys, you need to take the steps now. Make sure that you have a supply of food. And I mean have a supply. You need to be working on a year to 2 years supply of your normal food. We've shown this so many times. There should be a pop-up there to take you to a playlist. That playlist is our weekly prep. We always go out, we get our canned goods, we get our dry goods. I'm not talking about the long-term food storage. I'm talking about just your normal stuff that you eat on a daily basis. Buy extra amounts of it. Take the time now. Put something, you know what? Take that Christmas money that you're planning on spending. I recommend, and I do recommend, if you call yourself a prepper, I recommend you go buy some food. Put it back. Get you some canned goods, get you some dry goods, put it back as an investment for you and your family. No matter what happens, you will now have the ability to feed your children. You will have the ability to feed your spouse or other family members that you are working with that are, you know, if you plan on taking care of when this stuff goes down, you're gonna need food. Now I'm not saying go mortgage your house. But I did say go spend the Christmas money. All right, guys, what do you think is more important right now? We can look at the country, see everything that is going on. You can see it all. And you're gonna be worried about dropping $1,000 worth of toys for Christmas that most kids would sit there and play with for about 3 to 4 weeks, and that's about it if it's not broke before then. You can still buy your kids some type of gift. Absolutely. I do every year. I buy my kids gifts, but I'm also buying food. I don't just sit there and dump thousands of dollars on crap that I know is not going to last long. My main concern is making sure my family has a way of staying alive. So it's entirely up to you. I hope that if you are a prepper that you are putting food back. No, it does not have to be the long-term food store stuff. We're affiliated with it. If you've already got 2 years supply of canned goods, dry goods, you're canning your own food, stuff like that, awesome. If you want to move forward into long-term food, hey, we have Legacy. There's all kind of different other companies out there. If you don't want to buy through us, don't. You don't have to have long-term food stores to survive SHTF. Have seeds. Learn how to garden. Learn how to grow. Learn how to procure seeds and store them up for the next fall and season. But if you got seeds and you don't have a way of eating food while your garden's growing, a lot of good those seeds are doing you. Okay? Let's be honest with that. You need to have food stored up to last you multiple growing seasons in case there's some type of event that is causing you not to be able to grow in that garden. It could be all kind of different things. It could be a natural event. It could be stuff going on with the soil, with the air, with the water, or you just might not have a green thumb. It might take you a little bit to get used to it. All right, guys, get food put back. Please do. Don't ever stop getting food. You got to have food. All right. Talk to y'all later.